lay out their platforms about what they want to do about the city, let people listen to them and vote for them, and then one of them will win. And 4 years' time, if he didn't live up to the promises, they will vote the person up. In addition to electing the DCEs, I think we need to give the district assemblies control over all the money that is spent in their jurisdiction. The third thing is that they want to have control over personnel. Currently, I can tell you that the civil servants who work with the district assemblies are appointed, promoted, and fired in Accra. And as long as that happens, the districts will never have control over their own affairs. Second, a lot of people ask me about, Doc, how are you going to put our people to work? First, in most places, governments do not create most of the jobs. So the thing the government needs to do is to create what I call the enabling environment for private people to create jobs. The first thing is infrastructure, so that people can move goods up and down the country. The second thing is reforms, so that when there is processing of applications, this will be done very quickly. The third thing is a good court system, so that disputes will be resolved speedily. The fourth thing is tax reform, so taxes will be affordable and predictable. And you can apply this to a lot of areas. For example, let's just talk about agri before we move on. First, I believe that we should build rural infrastructure so people can live in the rural areas and farm. Two, we need to build storage facilities so that our food will not rot in the bushes. We need to build processing plants so that they become semi-processed products. We need to give them credit facilities so that they can buy fertilizer and other inputs. We need to work to open markets abroad so that they will be able to export their things. And when we do all these things, agriculture would improve significantly. And there are a lot of other ideas, and if it comes up in question, I'll address it. But let me talk about diasporans, because that is one of the areas I'm very passionate about. And you can write it down. Until Ghanaians, and for that matter, Africans, realize that the key to their salvation are their citizens who live in the West, Africa will never progress. Let me give you a few examples. I know there are a few of you here who are professionals. Today, as we sit here, they can put you on a commission in Ghana, and you can sit here and using video conference and participate in meetings with the commission. If you are a professor here, you can sit here and teach a course at Legon or USC or University of Development Studies. And a lot of people here will be very happy to do that even for free. In addition to that, still sticking to the teachers. Once every 5 years, most standard professors can take a year off to go and teach wherever they want, and they will get paid. If we had a very good system with a database of Ghanaians every year, I predict that thousands of them would descend on our campuses in Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, and elsewhere, and bring first-class expertise to the teaching of our students there. And even talking about our black brethren here, I say if you extend this to the high schools and you change our curriculum, I can see in my dreams every summer thousands of black American teachers and other professionals descending on African countries to offer their expertise free to the continent of their ancestry. Why are we not tapping all these resources? You go into medicine. Every year, Indian doctors go back to their country and do thousands of surgeries for free. If, for example, you call St. Lucia tomorrow as a physician and say, I'm coming on vacation, they will be very happy to give you a license in 48 hours, and you can go there and see their patients for them while you are on their vacation, and they will give you free accommodation. If you have such a system every year, thousands of Ghanaian medical officers will go back and do that. And when they do that, they will start getting acclimatized to the system, so that going back is not such a big leap. Then the other thing we can do to help is to set up an office in the presidency, which I would be very personally interested in, to make sure that, for example, if you're a doctor here and you want to go back, you send your material to the embassy here, and they will take it and do all the walking around, and you are sitting and they will say, Doc, here is your certificate to practice medicine again, or to teach, or to do whatever it is that you want to do, because we need them. And also, I will make it possible for diasporans who want to go back and invest, to have a one-stop place where there is research that has been made by an office. It will tell you where people lose money, where they make money, where people are trying to do venture capital, so that you join them and then you can invest with the assurance that you are being given very good advice and you will not lose your money. And the final thing is that if you are a diasporan and you want to come back home, as long as you stay for at least 5 years, I will let you repatriate property that you got abroad back home up to the tune of $500,000 without any tax. Then I would aggressively encourage diasporans as well as our Black American brethren, when they retire, to retire and settle in Ghana. I have told you all this, and I can tell you more, but I think the hour is going, so I want to wrap up so that during question time I can expand. Some say, so who is this messenger? Like some told you, I have been through the student movement. I have come here and worked as a professional. One of the things why I'm going back was an incident that happened the last night before I left Ghana. I was visited by Mr. Ajenim Boateng, who has since passed on and later became the General Secretary of the NPP. With his hand on my shoulder, and he says, I know you have suffered for this country. Your education has been interrupted repeatedly. You have come close to losing your life, but he said, and I know that a lot of people in your situation would leave and never look back, except maybe to think about family and bring them something occasionally. But, he said, never forget the reasons why you got into trouble in the first place. You got into trouble because you care about your country. So go learn how they do things there, and someday come back and help. Unfortunately, that day, there was one other person I wish I had seen. That was my mother. And when I went back, he had passed. But I never forgot what Mr. Ajenim Boateng told me. That is why people like you and I, who are the best assets of our nation, go to struggle to get back so that we can lift it up. I believe that we should be guided by the needs of the next generation rather than the dictates of the next election. We should be guided by the needs of people rather than the exigencies of politics. We should be guided by the imperatives of our nation rather than the narrow interests of our tribes. We should think of our country and not our parties. And we should think of institutions and not people. I believe we need to have a politics based on ideas and not insults. No insult has ever built a road or fed a hungry child or given a sick person medicine. That is why I'm running on the New Patriotic Party's ticket, because it has new in its name. I belong to the new wing of the New Patriotic Party, a new wing that believes in the day that is coming, not the day that is passing, in leaders who are emerging, not in those who are passing, in ideas whose times are yet to come, not in ideas that are passing. I believe that if we all work together, we can build the kind of nation that Dankwa dreamed about as he sat in a cold prison dying. The kind of nation that Nkrumah dreamt of when he looked at his soaring vision. The kind of nation that will be consistent with Professor Buzia's scrupulous respect for human rights. The kind of nation consistent with Hillel Liman's scrupulous respect for the institutions of government, and the kind of nation that will do justice to President Kufuor's dictates about zero tolerance. That is the kind of nation that will give hope to all of Africa and to all of the black race who hang their head in shame each time they hear about another bad story in Africa. And when we do that, we will set an example not just for our age, but for the ages. But we need to work together. That is why I'm asking for your help. Your help to reach out to those in Ghana so they can hear my message. Your help to give me ideas from your life experience and what you have learned so that I can put out policies that will make me a credible candidate. Your help so that you spend part of your treasure to help me take my message home. And finally, your help in prayer on my behalf and on behalf of our great nation so that once again we can become great. I thank you and may God bless you.